So, this is the end. So, let's talk about it. I wanted to make this video because this will be the official end video for SuperSour podcast. I wanted to make it because I didn't want just like an abrupt end to this podcast where it just stopped, no more videos were made. So, for those seeing this and none of our other past episodes, first of all, I'd love if you would check out those other episodes. They will remain up, and I do think they are genuinely funny videos. I still, looking back at them now, looking back at the clips, think they're incredibly funny, in my opinion. And we had a good time making them, so it would mean the world to me still, and I'm sure the rest of the team if you went back and gave those a look if you're just seeing this first. But if going down a rabbit hole of a random podcast, YouTube videos isn't what you want to do, I'll fill you in. Almost 2 years ago, I started a podcast like a ton of people have done in the past few years with my best friend Ian and my girlfriend Reese. Basically, I don't know how it happens for other people, but I had become consumed by podcasts, comedy podcasts. There was a time where I was watching weekly at least 10 podcasts a week, new episodes coming out every week. I was watching those. And so it's all I wanted to do. And you see why everybody wants to start doing a podcast, because it's just hanging out with your friends, cracking jokes. You get to make content that you guys together find funny and something fun to do, whether it just be sitting around podcasting or going around slapping people in public. I don't know. And we all collectively realized pretty quickly it's not as easy as they all say. Making a podcast is extremely easy. You can do what I'm doing right now. You pick up a microphone, you use a phone, camera, everything's relatively cheap for starter stuff, and you got to put some money in sometimes, and that's where the issue becomes. The thing is money and time. When you're a group of working people who don't have a ton of those things, money and time, it becomes somewhat of an issue. And so that was making this hard to do for a lot of us at the time. But even with that being said, we made a ton of fun videos with just the resources we had. And that's the point I was always trying to bring across people is we don't have the ability to sign up for a random credit card to put towards podcast episodes. We don't have the ability to have random, ideas that we can fund by ourselves. So we just talked about stuff. We just tried to crack as many jokes as we would. We tried to talk as if we would off camera, on camera. And there's tons of fun episodes that were made during that where me and Ian did the 100 beer. What was it? The 100 shots of beer. That's a good one to go check out. Our Twisted Tea taste test, where we compared Twisted Tea to Lipton, who was trying to sneak into the Twisted Tea market. They failed that one. My favorite personal episode, which doesn't have a ton of views, but my favorite personal episode is our Stardew Valley dating game, where Reese went through all the bachelors in Stardew Valley, and me and Ian had to figure out which ones we would end up wanting to date. And that's incredibly fun. Some of our more popular ones, which is fart into this pot, or I'll smoke crack under the bridge with the bums. It's a very lengthy word episode, but it's hilarious. So those are just some to say a few that, we just kind of did what we could when it came to react content with talking about social satire and bringing segments to a shows. Just became difficult to do with somebody, we're working 9 to 5s and et cetera, even longer 10-hour shifts at jobs, and became a little bit of a difficulty to do. But I think that the product we made given was really good. That being said, spoiler alert, obviously, we were not a channel to blow up by any means. We started a social media and a YouTube channel based from 0 followers, 0 everything. No notes to our name, which usually makes that a lot easier when you can at least say you have something that you're known for. And we had none of that. So we were literally starting from ground zero. And we managed to build a small following on social media and on YouTube, of people who watched us pretty regularly, and just by having a good time. And I can't thank those fans, like those random people, and all the friends and family who supported us, who were watching, and who would share us out when they could. I can't thank all of you guys enough, because that's, for me, we did it because we were having fun, but I also wanted other people to enjoy what we were doing. In October of last year, Reese and I decided to take our talents to Omaha. We left the tropical hellscape that is Florida. And for things mentioned before. Money was an issue, just too hot. And, we came somewhere cheaper. So we had to move away from Ian and everybody we knew there that we were doing that podcast with, which shouts out the random era when, me and Ian had a falling out. And then I just had to have random people on the podcast, and me and myself, and Reese tried to jump in and help out. And, shouts out to all of them, Mitch, Kaylee, Reese, of course, who stepped in and tried to record with me during those times. That's a fun era. For as long as the podcast went on, which was only like 80-something episodes, eras that you can see, which are very fun. So the reality is that SuperSour was always supposed to be in person. And it was a reason to hang out and have some drinks and hang out with my two favorite people at the time. And still, I don't know why I said at the time, and still. And over time, I had thought of ways to revamp and make the podcast better and more interactable. And, we still have some great ideas that are written down and held into the vault to use. But the reality is that it was meant for us to be in person, and it wasn't going to feel the same online. So as much as I love this project and I love this podcast and everything we've done in it, it is time to call it quits. Which, Ian and Darnell, if you're watching this, because I have told nobody but Reese so far about this, surprise. To our friends that do watch us, this does not mean no more podcasting. We will still be bringing you Throwing Hands with me, Ian, and Darnell. Growing Up Kayfabe, Guck, is getting better each week with me and Darnell. Please go check out those podcasts, Throwing Hands and Growing Up Kayfabe, me and Darnell. Subscribe to those podcasts. It also gives me time to focus on growing and rebranding Twitch. Shouts out Glorilla Joe right now. Probably switching to Gorilla Joe at some point once I can finally grab that name from Twitch. But please go over to twitch.tv/Glorilla Joe. It's going to be right there. And you can help us out with that. And I can also start other projects that I've been wanting to do for quite some time that I haven't wanted to start or, continue working on due to the thought of continuing SuperSour. And some of those projects being a murder mystery podcast hosted by Reese, where I will be behind camera and behind scenes, and Reese will be there doing her thing, and we'll just be learning through her. And, of course, trying to continue Pocket Beers with me and Ian, where you can live through nostalgia talk and having a couple beers with the boys. Doing this podcast, SuperSour, has enabled me to start and continue these projects with a much better headspace, with more knowledge on how to make these better for everybody involved. And I'm much happier to say that these projects are in progress. So that all being said, even brought out the microphone from SuperSour. Who knows? Maybe in the future we can convince Ian and Darnell to come on out to the Midwest and live life out here a much simpler way and less heat. Like Tony Ferguson said.
So I'm not going to put both gloves down. I'm going to put one. And I'm going to keep the other one just in case.
Before we go, let's watch some clips from the past year and a half of SuperSour. It's unorganic. I'm telling you right now. Half the podcasts you're watching that you think are so fucking good, unorganic. This is real shit right here.
This is Whole Foods. Organic.
Goddamn right. This is Earth Fare right here.
Earth Fare, that's another one.
Mm-hmm. This is
Trader Joe's. I don't know if they're organic.
They got organic shit. Yeah. This is Nature's Food Patch.
Microgreens.
Right here. Fuck.
Do you guys know how to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Horrible. Trash.
Not a fan,
Get
huh?
out.
You ever heard
It doesn't make any sense.
You ever heard of Lance Armstrong?
Get out.
He's an American hero.
A female.
Everyone knows how to ride a bike.
Are you nice?
Sometimes.
I like to think that we're nice.
Get the out, you women.
Joe knows me. I'm not that nice.
Cut your dicks off.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
Hold on. Let me ask you something. Before we try to say that.
The term is a
Wait
large
a minute.
clit.
Pause. Before we try to make a case about us being nice. Also, hilarious. Is there going to be something right afterwards about if we're not nice that we're also dicks?
Maybe.
Probably.
So I'm very much in and outside of my mind of like, why is everything this way? So why does our podcast suck? A lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. Why is it good? I find it to be even more reasons why it's good.
Yeah, it outweighs. Okay, I thought we were just gonna go down a negative path.
No way. Listen, you don't have to follow every step of the way. You go where your heart desires.
Oh no!
Shut down.
We went to a really dark place.
Shut.
All right. Well, back to Joe's path.
Well, on my path, there didn't seem to be a fucking wave of destruction on it. Thanks everyone for watching this video. Thanks for everyone who supported all the videos. And one last time, play that music, baby.
Alright, you use both hands. It's like
Really gets in there. You guys wanted rights. You guys wanted independence.
Hey,
Is there going to be something right afterwards about if we're not nice that we're also dicks?
maybe.
Probably.